We're the capital city of Virginia, and we provide IT services to our citizens there, and we provide local government types of services, street, roads, maintenance, schools, education, a variety of utility services, community development, code enforcement, those kind of services. We did analysis of our customer information technology needs, and one of the things we found is there's a common need for business process management or just structured business processes. We have a lot of processes that really we need additional documentation and structure to, and we thought that BPM would be a good tool set, and it was common across all of our agencies. We have approximately 22 agencies that we serve, and we also serve constitutional agencies in addition to the 22 city agencies, and they all have business process needs and the need for automation in that space. We created the business case by showing that there was a need for business process management across the organization. And one of the things we liked about our approach is that we could do a pilot study and verify that the technology worked and use it in a real-life situation within the city. And that's one of the things that started us down the path of adopting BPM in Metastorm. We were looking for flexibility and something that would increase the agility of our organization and the ability for IT to provide services in a shorter time frame. It's something that we could use to store business logic and rules about the organization, and also something that would bridge silos between the different agencies and their information systems. We have a lot of disparate systems for different agencies and different business needs, and we needed something that could go from system to system and control workflow and accountability and access to information. Our first foray into BPM we used for our change control notification. We used that since it was an internal IT process, we started with that, and that gave us the ability to track all changes to the IT infrastructure, applications, hardware, and software. And our CIO, Gene Duty, implemented a new policy that said everything that was changed had to go through this change control process. And Metastorm gave us a structure and a way to manage that process. It's provided us with a mechanism to ensure that processes are consistent and repeatable, and that there's auditability, traceability, and accountability for all the players in the different processes. And we were able to use Metastorm to show at any given point in time who is on the watch list, who has the task at this time, and to immediately send out different communications regarding where a process is and its status, and make sure that it got escalated or got to the right person at the right time. We measure success primarily through efficiency and effectiveness, time saving for individuals, accuracy of our data, and the ability to have a consistent process that we can repeat over and over again and not have it take additional time if it goes down the wrong path or takes a route that it's not supposed to go. We've polled all of our agencies, and we developed a list, I think, of around 75 or 80 processes that we've identified across the organization, and we've kind of prioritized them based on what we feel would be the best return on investment. Currently, we're looking at how we can use Metastorm to help us automate some of our contact management, CRM types of interfaces with our citizens. We currently have several business needs across the organization where the ability to track when someone calls on the phone and they ask for a service or request information, and we want to be able to record that call, record the call taker, wherever they are, not just in the call center, but throughout the organization or whichever agency wants to do the tracking, and then transfer it to the person who's assigned to follow up, and then eventually build in workflows to help execute some of the workflow activities that are, or business processes required to fulfill service requests. The things that we looked at are the flexibility of the tool, the integration of how well it works with other applications. A big thing for us is the ability to use web services and to share information and to have a workflow system that fits into a service-oriented architecture strategy, which is one of our primary architecture strategies for the city, and the ability to change processes as business needs change and not have to go through a long development cycle to change those processes, and also a repository for business logic and information about how the rules are validated within the organization and how we can manage processes as an entire entity or city. One of the things that we've done is set up a Center for Excellence. I guess one of the lessons we learned is trying to absorb the BPM effort into existing development teams and project teams without having a dedicated Center of Excellence was probably not the best approach when we took it on. So now that we have a Center of Excellence and we've identified an inventory of processes to automate, that's what I would recommend first and foremost, is organize a team dedicated to BPM and don't try to add it on to existing workloads within your organization. We use architecture where we can to make sure that it's in line in supporting those business objectives and initiatives for the agencies and the mayor at large. So it's all fitting into an enterprise governance model that we're developing for technology as a whole.